Let's understand data types in JavaScript. When defining a variable like our first name inside of JavaScript and assigning a value to this first name, we implicitly tell JavaScript that we have a specific data type. And in our case, this data type is a string. So if we are going to console.log the type of our first name, for example, we will see that in our console, we now have string. So this one is basically a string. A string is basically just a number of characters, so plain text. To tell JavaScript that this is a string, we are usually using quotes, and you can either use double quotes like this, for example, or you can also use single quotes, and you can also use the backtick character, for example. So all of this basically works to define a string. And a string could be our name, obviously, for example. The second data type would be a number, for example, which is basically, as the name implies, just a number. So we can, for example, say let age be equal to 27, and this would be the data type number. Boolean is basically either true or false, and is mostly used to implement logic. So we can, for example, say let is above 18, for example, be equal to true. Now, if we just declare a variable, for example, by saying let hello, and now we use a semicolon, so we don't assign a value. And now we're going to console.log the type of hello, for example. We will now be able to see inside of the console that the data type is undefined. So undefined basically just means that the variable has not yet been defined. But you can also say that our variable hello should be equal to null, which basically means we are explicitly saying that this is an empty value. And now to check whether hello has a value of null, we can use hello equals null. And if this is true, we are going to see true inside of our console. So we're going to run the code, and as you can see, we now have true. If we are going to set this one to undefined, for example, and if we rerun the code, we now get false in the console. So those are the most important primitive data types in JavaScript.